Hi, and welcome back to Stephanie's Movie Reviews. I am your host, Stephanie Thompson. I'm a member of Screen Actors Guild and NAFTA, a classically trained singer-songwriter, a vocal coach, and actor. In this show, we review 4 categories of films: action, family, drama, and comedy. In this segment, and this is the third segment of 4 segments, we're going to review a drama. But before we get to that, I just want to let you know that if you're watching on social media, you can go to akexpertstv.com and check out all of our segments. And not only do we have this show, but we have Amy Kardashian and the Experts, we have World of Book Reviews with Judy Morio, and we have my show, Stephanie's Movie Reviews. And my sponsors that we want to give a shout out to real quick are SkyVistaConsulting.com, SkinFitnessLV.com, and EV36Photography.com. And speaking of SkyVistaConsulting.com, we have Adnan Khawaja in the house with us right now as a guest. He's SkyVistaConsulting.com. He does websites and social media, and he does an amazing job. And so glad to welcome you back, Adnan.
I'm excited about this whole show.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great to have you.
Same here.
So thank you for coming. So in this segment, we reviewed the movie Hidden Figures, or we watched the movie Hidden Figures. And it's based on an untold story of 3 women that worked for NASA back in the 1960s. It's directed by Theodore Melfi. It's a drama. It was released January 6, 2017. It stars Taraji B. Henson, Octavia Spencer, Janelle Monáe, Jim Parsons, Kirsten Dunst, and Kevin Costner. It's PG for thematic elements and some language, and its running time is 2 hours and 7 minutes. And basically, it's the incredible, untold, true-life story of these 3 women, Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson, who worked in NASA and were some of the brains behind helping us in the space race and getting our astronaut, John Glenn, into orbit, which turned around the space race for the United States and really gave us confidence as a nation and was just, you know, a huge accomplishment, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And, I mean, it's amazing that this story hasn't been told until now, right?
Yeah, and
you know,
I loved the movie. I mean, the whole story not only captured the essence of, 3 black women that were the first, and, that I think also created, there were 2 historical moments. One was the race, the other one for space, and the other one was also the race behind, how African Americans had it, real hard during that time. And, just going through the whole movie, it was, I was like, man, this was, it was tough for them, the women in general, one being, women, and second being a minority. But I think the plot just sort of, builds itself up as you go through, and you're like, man, you feel the struggle, you feel every single element. So it really hits you hard. And I think the movie shows, like, it's not about what do you call it? One being strong-headed, and at the same token, thriving through and basically
they persevered. They persevered.
They did. Thank you for that.
Over enormous odds.
Absolutely, and I feel Kirsten Dunst, from Dunst and Check-In and all the other movies that she had in the past. She looked a lot older in it. I mean, this is a side comment.
I think they made her to be older.
Older, yeah.
Yes,
but I mean, I was looking at it, I was like, man, she's not that old, but she definitely had a different role. But Kevin Costner's role was pretty phenomenal all the way through.
Yes.
As well, so the cast was pretty phenomenal.
They were.
Yes.
They were. The acting was fantastic. And, there was parts that struck me, like when she had to run through all those hoops just to go to the bathroom. I mean, oh my gosh. And then, he's looking at her like, where were you? Were you on a break? And the lady's telling him, oh, she's on a break. And he's like, a break? Okay, we have breaks now? And we see what she goes through just to do that. You see what we take for granted. And, it's, it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't
really
that,
wasn't that long ago.
Not at all. And I think a lot of it was breakthroughs after breakthrough after breakthrough, which was really great. And what I really loved was, they also introduced IBM as one of the machines that sort of came about for the space program. And obviously, when you're at that level of genius, calculations have to happen right there. And, and I think each person played a significant role in making every step of the space race, so to speak, happen from start to end. And I love the fact that, I know she had a mental breakdown, or actually more of an emotional breakdown, because she was literally going half a mile in and out. And I can't imagine, if during that time of the year where you had segregation and everything, especially in Virginia, and they had to deal with every single obstacle that was there. And so, obviously at the end of the day, they persevered, like you mentioned. But it was just phenomenal how, they didn't really the three women didn't take obstacles they took it as a challenge. And they took that challenge and sort of converted it into something positive for not only themselves, but also their staff as well.
They found a way.
They did.
And, and that's, my mentor, Amy Kardashian, she always says, you find your why. When you have your why, you find a way. You find a way to persevere. You just remember your why, and then you go after it. And they had their why.
Right.
They had their why. They had their wanting to make a living, and also wanting to make a difference. And I think the title of the film is so clever, Hidden Figures. It's just so clever. Whoever came up with that title is just brilliant.
It is.
But the numbers that they were messing with, I mean, when she was writing those numbers on the board and I was looking at all that and the things they were talking about, it was just like, you know what I mean?
I was going to compare this movie to October Sky. I don't know if you ever watched that movie with Gyllen, I can never remember his name. But anyways, that movie, obviously, same thing. It was about, Sputnik and the space race, but he was one of the guys, and I know it's not about Hidden Figures, but it was also about the space race back in the day, and how we, the United States actually sent, were able to develop that, the mechanism to shoot the rockets up in the air. And so, that reminded me, and it was quite inspirational. I think the movie overall is very inspirational, just because you have, struggles that women had back then, and especially women as a minority. That was essentially one of the biggest, I think, glorified moment for them as well, because they came from somewhere where they didn't have that many opportunities, especially, somebody who wanted to become an engineer, and she actually fought through just so she can actually take classes in order to go through. So there were a lot of great elements, and, great movie overall. I mean, everything was laid out just right, and heartfelt moments all the way through. But at the same token, you're like, man, why can't they do this? And there was moments where I was getting frustrated, and my wife and I were watching, and we were like, man, why is this happening here? Why is this, But it was that time of the, where this was happening. And me being a minority as well, I can't imagine how they were going through, just because it was, you had separation of things. But at the same token, look at where we are now as a nation. And it's a unified nation. You got a lot of new things, but at the same token, we won the space race, which was awesome.
Yes, it is awesome. It is awesome. Well, so I gave this movie 4 popcorns. I thought it was excellent. I thought the acting was excellent. I thought that the pace of the movie was good, and I had no complaints. So anyway, Adnan, it was wonderful having you on as a guest again.
My pleasure.
Thank you for being on.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you on the next segment. We're going to talk about La La Land.